You talk about intercoolers and the intercoolers from what I remember too, and I know you and I both saw Dodge trucks in the mid 90s, when the first Dodge trucks came in with the diesels that
The
they were
Cummins.
getting from
That was a
Cummins.
game
Exactly.
changer.
Oh,
That was the first
absolutely.
of two game changers.
Well,
Be
absolutely.
interesting to see how much of a huge game changer the Ram would have been if it hadn't been preceded by the Cummins, which gave it a cult following early on.
Correct. Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, it
people
was a
said
good
the
looking
heck
little
out of it.
truck regardless, but it just didn't have the popularity as, the Ford and the Chevy, and to that extent the GMC owners did at the time. And, we were talking about earlier the multi-valve systems, working at Dodge and with that trusty old 318, when they changed from the direct injection throttle body to the multi-port Magnum injection system, going from 92 to 93, it
Oh
went
yeah,
went from 153 horsepower,
170 horsepower.
to
Yeah,
213 or 225. I mean, it was
225 in the
significant.
318.
Yeah,
Yep,
because we were
235.
selling the
I think
custom vans back
the
then, and it was a
39. Yep.
big time change in the amount of torque, the amount of horsepower, and it was just changing the fuel delivery system. And the same basic block didn't change anything else, but the
Yep. The
efficiency
block
and
was the same, but it was often overlooked because of the change from throttle body injection to multi-point sequential fuel injection, which is
yeah,
much more precise. It often gets overlooked. The heads were completely different. If you look at
really,
the head from a throttle body 318 and a Magnum, it looks like the difference between a Buick nail head and a Hemi. I mean, the valves got humongous. And the other
okay,
huge thing that they did was they changed the rocker arm ratio. So
okay,
the lift and the duration on the camshaft didn't change. I think the camshaft was almost basically the same, but they changed the rocker arm ratio. And so the lift in reality and the duration in reality changed a good bit. So those valves were opening earlier, they were opening higher, and they were opening a much larger valve. So those were actually the main changes that gave the Magnum all the extra power, but it wouldn't have worked without the multi-point fuel injection because, well, you remember, when your cousin had an old Roadrunner and it was pretty good, but he was being beat by GTOs and stuff, so he took it to Jake's speed shop and had them change the camshaft.
Put a racing cam in it for
Yeah,
sure.
and then suddenly that thing's going. Bah, 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 bah. I mean,
Yeah,
it drivability went to crap. And so putting the large valves, the different rocker arm ratios and everything else on that engine without the multi-point fuel injection would have killed drivability. Throttle
gotcha.
body would not have been able to even it out and make it nice and smooth and idle like a kitten. So that was the whole package put together. But it's funny because the multi-point fuel injection was what was stressed, and so everyone believed that's what gave it all the power.
Oh, I
But
know. I mean,
I
to
don't
your
know if it
point,
would have gained, anything more than 5-10 horsepower if the heads hadn't been completely redesigned.
yeah,
But
they
you're
didn't
correct,
really
the block
emphasize
was
that with
exactly the
us.
same.
Yeah, I mean, I must have missed that day in training class because, like I
They
said,
didn't go over it very well.
no,
They
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 didn't. I
they
can tell
they
you
did
that.
not. Oh,
Yeah.
and the intake manifold also was changed quite a bit because
Oh, yeah.
uh basically
Well, you just look at it when you open a hood,
yeah,
you could see the
I'd hate
intake was
to
changed.
say that the carburetor intake manifold and the throttle body intake manifold were identical, but I wouldn't I wouldn't bet anyone that they could tell them apart if you laid them out next to each other. But
Yeah,
the
well,
intake manifold that came with the Magnum, now that was an intake manifold. That
well, that's
thing
what I'm
was
saying. You popped the hood on a
huge.
92 versus the 93. It was totally different. And that's the stuff, like you said, we focused on. And just the drivability. You were talking about that, skipping and choking. I got a neighbor around the corner from me. He's got an old 64 Dodge with a 440 under the hood. And and it just when he brings it out just to get it to go a little above idle, it's just choking. is zero drivability. He still drag races that rascal. It's not quite street legal, but you just see him doing that. But
And
uh,
the West Bank, everything's cool.
hey, look, it's cool here. The best bank. But let's go ahead and wrap up some of these crazy names that we're talking about here.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe for more, and drop a comment below. We'd love to hear from you and it really helps out.